Hi, it's Tessa, and I'm really excited to welcome you to the last episode of this series on the Unleash, Ignite, Impact show. This is a new series and a new show in which we talk about productivity and performance. And today it's the last episode of this first series in which we got to talk about what are the secrets of highly successful people. Highly successful people have a framework, and in this series I have shared with you what is this framework in 9 steps, and today it's step 9. It's the last step. It's one of the most important secrets. Personally it's one of my favorite topics because it's about persuasion. And before I tell you more about it, I want to welcome everybody who's watching live and also take a moment to acknowledge those of you who will be watching the replay. I appreciate that you are taking the time to come back to watch this episode. Welcome again to the Unleash, Ignite, Impact show. Whoever is watching live, let me know in the comment section where you are tuning in from. We've had people watch this show from everywhere around the world. We've had a lot of people from Europe, Portugal. We've had people from South America who have been engaged with us. So make sure to let me know where you're watching from. I would really love to know. I'm curious to know who is interested in this topic. We are talking for this series about the 9 secrets of highly successful people. I have already unfolded for you the framework you need to follow to be able to achieve more and to perform more in your life and in your career. So just as a quick recap, we have talked about the importance of having clarity as to what's your mission and purpose in life, but also what are the outcomes you would like to achieve. We've talked about the importance of staying energized, to find the courage to take the actions we need so we can get more productive. Productivity is an outcome of the 3 first items. Once you get that, well, you have influence and you can reach excellency. And then when you want to master your craft, when you want to really reach the highest levels of performance, you need to master your mindset, your physiology, and the last item on this list, well, I've already told you, it's about mastering persuasion. Persuasion is sort of, say, an extension of influence. It's influence taken to the next level. And I'm really excited to demystify for you today on the show what is persuasion, and to help you change your perspective on persuasion. Persuasion is not about manipulation. It's not about forcing people to do something, and in that sense, it's not about power. So if it's not about power and if it's not manipulation, then what is persuasion? Well, before I tell you what is persuasion, but mostly how you can, increase your capacity in this field, let me ask you a question. How persuasive do you feel in your relationships and in your career, especially in the last 6 months? I would love to know how persuasive you feel. I see we have some live viewers here on LinkedIn. Make sure to engage with me. It would be really helpful also because it's an opportunity for me to provide more insights that are geared to your needs. My guess is most of you may not feel so persuasive or so influential. My guess is you still struggling to have people follow you and believe in you. You probably already have some successes, and I also want to talk about those successes. You probably have already persuaded people, whether it's in your family or your team or your boss, to believe in you and to follow you. So let me ask you a question. When you successfully persuaded your family or your team or your boss to believe in you and to follow you and to support your ideas and decisions, what did you do? What made you so influential and so persuasive? Let's make this interactive. Let me know in the comment section, what did you do that made you so influential and also so persuasive? I can tell you from experience why I believe persuasion is so important and also why it's one of my favorite topics. Because as you know, I founded Legal Creatives as an educational platform in which we teach legal design. Legal design is very new and very niche. And in order for me to be successful in this endeavor, that I really felt teaching legal design was my calling, and so I'm just making a quick loop back to the first item, having clarity as to what is your mission in life. So I was crystal clear with my mission and what I wanted to achieve, that is really about teaching legal design. And I had to be influential because this is so new. And so whatever is new is exciting, but can be also frightening. And so to persuade my colleagues and peers and community to trust me as a coach, as a trainer, as a teacher, I had to show them a couple of things. And that's exactly what I want to share with you on the show. I want to share those strategies that at the time I have used unconsciously. I was not aware because at the time I didn't have those strategies I'm sharing with you. But those strategies are the key for you to be able to persuade others to believe in you, to follow you, and to support your ideas and decisions. And so what are those first elements? Well, I started to tell you about novelty. Novelty is one strategy you can use to enhance your capacity to persuade others to follow you or to support you. Novelty meaning something is new, that's exciting. Everybody loves novelty. However, nobody likes changes. Nobody likes to change. But everybody likes novelty, or at least most of the people like new things. You know, this is why we like, you know, the cinema, this new show on the cinema, we love that. Warm greetings from snowy Canada. Alexander is on the live with us. Thank you for being live, Alexander. And so novelty is about making sure that you are able to show people that what you do is new, but it's not going to be so threatening that they have to change too much. Does it make sense, everybody? And this means you need to show people, your team, your family, your boss, that your idea is new, but that also it's useful. Utility is another important aspect for you to be more persuasive, to show utility for those ideas, those projects, to show that it's useful. So it's not just new, but it's useful. And then to be able to show the tangible figures, if you can, or at least to show that it has been proven to be useful. You have some use cases. You have already tested this. Or at least if you haven't yourself, someone else already tested this and it works better. So novelty first, utility second, and they should go together. Otherwise, you may fail at persuading others to follow your new ideas. Yes, that's a new idea. Haven't you heard that? Yeah, that's great. You have so many new ideas. But, you know, we don't have time for new ideas. We just need to run this company here. But if you tell them how useful this is going to be and that you can prove the tangible results because you've already tested it, at a small scale, or someone else tested it at a bigger scale, then that gets more interesting. You starting to have a more productive conversation. Now I'm looking at my notes here, and while I do so, I'd love to know what you're feeling, how you're feeling about this. Because persuasion is not about manipulation. It's really about making sure you have the capacity to make others believe in you and in your ideas. After utility, you can use another strategy that is called pride. Why pride? Well, because we all have some ego and we all want to feel proud of something. And so if we believe that this idea will lead us to achieve more success, because we talk about productivity here, so be more productive and be able to have more impact, then we'll be proud. The team will be proud, the boss will be proud, the wife and husband at home and the children will be proud. I'm going to go back to the extension benefits soon. Everybody's going to be proud. And so to be able to share those case studies that really demonstrate that your ideas work because you have tested them or others have already used them and it works, then pride is an important argument to bring to persuade others to believe in you and to follow you. I see I have received a heart here on this show. Thank you so much for sharing the love. By the way, if you feel this is useful, because I don't think we talk about persuasion so much, if you think this is useful, make sure to let your colleagues know about this. Make sure to give it a like, put a comment, share it with your friends. There's another thing that is really another argument you can use, and that is about popularity. That's another really strong argument for you to persuade others to believe in you, to follow you, and to support your ideas. Popularity is so important. If your idea is starting to gain popularity, such as legal design, it's starting to get so much popularity, well, bring it up. Show the figures. How many professionals in the world now are using legal design, or at least talking about it? Show the numbers, show the figures. Popularity is another really big one. Would you like more? I have two more actually. Would you like more, or are you good with those strategies? This is a lot I've shared. I have shared with you. I see Annick is sharing my video on Facebook. Thank you so much for sharing, Annick. I've already talked to you about the importance for you to persuade others to believe in you. You need to show them that your idea is new, but also that it's useful. You also need to show the pride, how proud your boss will be, your team members will be, and your family by extension will be. Popularity, if your idea is gaining traction, make sure to show that. Annick is saying, so real. Thank you so much, Annick, for sharing. Absolutely. And the other two, and they are my favorite, it's about the aspirational connection. You know, we all on a mission here. Every single one of us, we are on a mission. We are on the quest to achieve something, to improve our lives, to have an impact, to be influential in our space. And we know we cannot do this alone. We know we need to surround ourselves with colleagues, with friends, with relatives that are going to support us because they're going to work with us to help us achieve this mission. Or maybe they're going to just support us and celebrate us, even if they're not necessarily working with us. But this aspirational connection is so important. To be able to provide a sense of aspiration, to try to connect to that frequency or that vibe or that sensibility in people that everybody wants to be somehow recognized for who they are first, and also for what they do, for their work, but also for their beliefs and their values. And so if you're able to touch that sensitivity in your colleagues, in your friends, in your family, and that this idea, this project is gonna able to lift them up to a new level that is, we could almost say a heroic level, something that maybe has never been done before, and it's gonna work, and you'll be the first to do it. Remember, novelty is so important. However, you need to make sure that this new idea is gonna be useful and impactful, and that you're pretty sure it's gonna work. Even if you're not sure 100%, you have you have studied enough the subject, you have investigated enough that it's going to work. So you need to bring those proofs that it's going to work so people trust you. It's all about trust. And then you are helping them connect with their own aspiration for themselves. Do they want to show up in life with more bravery, with more courage, to have more impact? If you're able to touch that, then you're influencing them to say yes to your idea, to support you in the achievement of this idea by working with you, or at least supporting you and celebrating you. I see we have Annick saying, those are great tips to advance in whatever we are doing. Absolutely. Persuasion is so important. And it's not about manipulation. It's about being influential to the max, if I can say. There's another one that I would like to share with you. But before, I'd love to have a bit of interaction. What are you learning so far? Is there anything that surprises you about persuasion? Is there any insight you're going to start to apply in your life so you can persuade your team, maybe also your clients, your boss, your family, to believe in you more and to follow you? Make sure to let me know, even if you're watching the replay. It means a lot to me to have some feedback from you, to make sure this is useful. Now, the last tip, and it's one of my most favorite, because you may know or not know that I have a training as a mediator. A mediator is someone who's solving conflicts. And persuasion, somehow you're solving a conflict because you have resistance in front of you. People are looking at you in a suspicious way, like this guy on the photo. He's like, tell me more about that. Not so sure this is gonna work, or not so sure I want you on board on this project. So it's a little bit like conflict resolution. And this strategy is deriving from that. It's about making sure you're gonna be talking about the extended benefits. That means the benefits not just for the person you're trying to persuade, but for his or her family, his or her team, his or her organization or community. The extended benefits. This means, let's take an example. And I like this example a lot, although it's a bit extreme, but I think you will get the idea. Since I told you I was trained as a mediator, that is about conflict resolution, some of the most complicated conflictual situations related with, and this is very extreme, I know, but it's just to make a point, hostage. You know, when some people take others in hostage. I'm not saying I have done that kind of mediation or conflict resolution, but I've read a lot about it. I've studied a lot about it. And so you have someone who's taking others as hostage. I think this movie, Speed, was such a, was such an amazing movie. I'm sure you all have heard or at least watched it or at least heard about this movie, Speed, with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, that they are stuck in this in this track, in this, and they cannot, well, I mean, I'm not going to share the story of speed. That's not the point. The point is someone is taking others hostage. And when you see the professionals who negotiate to have the hostage decide to release the people that are hostage, and you see the difference here, like nobody is going to force that person to release. You have to convince the person who's taking others hostage that they're going to release them. You see, this is key in influence and persuasion. You're not forcing people to decide, but you need to influence them enough so they can decide for themselves, so they can decide to release the hostage. And what do? You all have heard this in those movies, Speed and others. At some point, one of the strategies that is being used is to say, just think about what is the image you're going to portray to the world. What is the image you are going to portray to your family about yourself? And that is related to also the aspiration that we all have as human beings to how we are seen in the world. How is the world going to portray us? And so this is why extended benefit is so useful. It's useful because you're telling them, well, by doing this, you're going to benefit because you will be perceived in a much better way by your team, by your boss, by your family, but also so many other people will benefit. Not just those people here, the hostage, but they have families, they have friends, they have kids. And they have work to do, they have stuff to do, they have aspirations, they have dreams. And then you're starting to connect more with the humanity, especially for this hostage example. And usually that makes them reflect a lot. But before you get there, you need to do a lot of work by discussing with the person you're trying to persuade. This is why those hostage release are taking so much time. You just cannot go there and start talking about the aspiration and talking about the extended benefits. You need to have a conversation. You need to ask a lot of questions. You need to understand and relate to the person you're trying to persuade, to have a lot of empathy. This is why for hostage release in conflict resolution, you need so much empathy to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the person you're trying to persuade. I see we have some live comments here from Alexander. Successful persuasion means to have a good rapport with the co-workers and the partners. Absolutely. So true. You need to have a good rapport because you need to make sure that people will trust you. And this is why to persuade, you also need to lead by example, to be role modeling for others, to, as much as possible, have a work ethic or life ethic that is inspirational. Yesterday we had a coaching session inside our community where we discussed about who are the role models that influenced us. And some people said Gandhi and Mother Teresa's. And they have such a impeccable ethic and conviction about how to bring more good in this world. And so it's also about how you show up in life. And it's also about making sure that through your actions, people trust you. So whenever whenever you're building this confidence and this trust and this rapport, then it's going to be easier to persuade your teammates. Exactly. Alexander is talking about trust here. Absolutely. So those are the strategies you need to use. There are a couple of more strategies, but I think for now we already have at least 6. We have benefit extension, we have aspirational connection, we have popularity of the ideas, utility, novelty, and pride. We already have shared a lot. Now my question to you is, how are you going to use the strategies to be even more persuasive? Because if you have not felt so persuasive with your team, your boss, maybe finding clients or friends and family, this is something you need to change. And it's not necessarily about changing your ideas, but it's about changing the way you present those ideas. And I think this is key. It's not about changing your ideas, but the way you present them. So be sure next time you would like to persuade someone, whether it's someone in your family, in your team, or a client to work with you, make sure to use some of those strategies, to show them the extended benefits, to show them that they're going to be able to feel really proud because they will be trailblazing something. They will be achieving something impressive, something new and something useful. Now, if you would like to continue this coaching journey, because truly what I'm doing here on the show is kind of coaching. It's kind of giving you some tools and strategies to help you feel more, like have a better capacity to be productive because you're able to persuade others, you're able to influence them, but you're also able in your life to be more courageous and to live a life where you have more clarity as to what are your outcomes. And this is why in Persuasion, to know what's your outcome before even you start a discussion, that's so important. What is your outcome? You don't even need to share that with the person you're trying to persuade. This is for you. But it always goes back to the first item of this framework, this roadmap for more productivity, and that is to have clarity. Productivity comes from clarity. Without clarity, you can do a lot and achieve very little. This is why clarity is key. And I'm so excited to be telling you that I'm building a new community of high achievers with this new brand, the High Performance Genius brand. I've been really blessed to grow, I think, the biggest community in the legal design space in the world. That is a really innovation community in the legal sector. We have a community that is so engaged, and it just makes me so happy to see them grow in this space, to see them evolve in this space and influence others. But now I decided this year to build, in addition to that, a new community of high achievers. So irrespective of your industry, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a doctor, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a social worker, whether you are just a dreamer and you're still trying to figure out what you do with your skills and your knowledge, well, this community is for you. And it's happening at the High Performance Genius website. And we're about to release our new membership for people to be able to consistently access this kind of knowledge, those tips and strategies to increase their productivity, to increase their focus, but also to experience a more vibrant life. And it's happening at the highperformancegenius.com. You can leave your name and email on the website to be notified when this membership is open. But even if you're not sure about joining the membership, at least be a part of this community, receive my real-life insights on productivity, on persuasion, on influence, to really be able to exactly like Alexander said, if you have a dream, to be able to achieve it. And if you don't yet have a dream, to be able to find out what are your dreams. And that starts with clarity. Thank you so much, Alexander, for being so engaged and active in this chat. I appreciate it a lot. It's great to have sort of a conversation together. Make sure to visit highperformancegenius.com in order to leave your name. You can even have a free one-on-one coaching session with me just to see a little bit the areas of your life that may need a bit more attention and decide if you would like to continue a one-on-one coaching journey with me or to be part of this community or just both. I mean, why choose if you can have both? You know, this is something I've learned in life. People say, do you want this or do you want that? Well, why cannot I have both? you know? At the restaurant they say, do you want a starter or do you want a dessert with your menu? Well, why cannot I have both, you know? So anyway, it's about changing our mindsets. It's about supporting each other in the achievements of our objectives, of our outcomes and our dreams. And it's also about making sure we are implementing those new habits consistently in our life. Because again, high performers, they have a secret, and I have shared with you on this first series, the 9 secrets of highly successful people. If you ever need to watch those videos again, you can do 2 things. You can go back to my profile and try to find those videos, but there's a lot of things I'm sharing on my profile, so it may take you a long time. The other thing is to join the community at highperformancegenius.com, because we're gonna bring all those videos so you can access them for free without even having to go back to my profile. So this is why, again, I highly encourage you join this community, and that to make it happen this year, that we need to persuade people to make better decisions. We need to, Annick is saying, have some coaching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annick, for your great comments. And for all of you who have been live with us, Alexander, so nice. Thank you, everybody. Make sure to share this video. This is the last video of this series. So there will be a new series, and this is an opportunity for me to ask you, what do you want me to talk on the new series of this show? This is the Unleash, Ignite, Impact show. What are the topics you would like me to address? Would you like me to address more strategies, more, I don't know, do you want me to share some routines, habits? What do you want to know? About productivity, focus, persuasion, influence, courage, energy, clarity, all of those great stuff. Let me know. You can send me a message to let me know what you would like me to address for another series. It's been a pleasure. I want to say thank you to all and every one of you who attended live, who watched the replays. I've seen so many of you engage. Make sure to join us inside the highperformancegenius.com community so you can access to all of those videos for free, and also decide if you would like to take the membership with us so you can receive those productivity tips and make sure that you're gonna live a more vibrant and extraordinary life, because I truly believe we can all experience an extraordinary life if we are able to implement those strategies consistently in our life and in our career. Thank you again. I'm going to be missing you, but I'm going to be back with a new series, and so I'm waiting for your ideas and your suggestions. Do not hesitate to leave them right below or to send me a private message. So let's continue achieving more so we can have more impact together. Thanks again for being a part of this show, and I'll see you for the next series.